This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build a good online presence.
SHEEV.
Do it.
Palpy.
Good.
The Palp Boy. It's not just a lust for power for Palpatine. It's, I'm the best person for the job.
I am the Senate.
He's seizing power on a galactic scale, but also just on a very personal scale.
I can feel your anger.
If someone is complimenting you and seeing you, that's great. If someone is comparing you to others and saying, you're going to be the greatest of all the Jedi, like, question their motives.
Here's what makes Palpatine such a skilled manipulator. There is truth in what he says. The issue is he mixes truth with lies, and he steers people towards his own ends.
Kill him. Kill him now.
What he's doing right now is gaslighting. You can't trust anyone but me. The way you think and do things is wrong. This is what they do.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. This is...
Alan Seawright, a professional filmmaker who needs therapy and electroshock therapy, apparently.
You're cured. Today we're going to be talking about Palps. SHEEV, Palpy, the Palp Boy.
He came back somehow.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Why? Why would you do this?
I've wanted to do this episode for a while. I want to talk about groomers and manipulators and how they lure you into the life that they want you to live and to being basically mine. And this is the one thing about the prequels you like.
This is the thing about the prequels I like. The whole Palpatine taking power, that whole storyline works for me.
So he starts the siege of Naboo. He's pulling the strings because he knows the Senate will get bogged down and they'll want someone else to step in and make it right.
Yep.
Your Highness,
Look at how
Senator
smug he is.
Palpatine has been nominated to succeed Valorum as Supreme Chancellor.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
And the meme is born.
Your Majesty, if I am elected, I promise to put an end to corruption.
Who else has been nominated?
Bail Antilles of Alderaan and Ainley Team of Malastair.
I feel confident our situation will create a strong sympathy vote for us. I will be Chancellor.
I love how Ian McDermott plays this. Is it McDermott? McDiarmid?
I've always heard McDermott. I'm not sure.
I've heard it both ways.
He's a little too glib.
Yeah.
He's still trying to be the good guy, the decent friend to Padme and the representative of Naboo, but he can't quite contain his excitement.
Step one of my 37-point plan has fallen into place.
Right. And so people are dying, but he's like, I think we'll have a strong sympathy vote, you know? It's a little too greasy politician, and it's perfect.
Yep.
Hey, have you seen our Cinema Therapy website?
I have.
Yeah, I actually knew that. Anyways, it was so easy to build and customize our site using Squarespace.
Squarespace has so many templates to choose from with a wide variety of styles and formats to make your stuff look nice.
So once we found a template that worked really well as a starting point for us, Fluid Engine,
The design system for Squarespace,
made it easy to customize.
we added our own colors, fonts, and personal touches to give it our own unique brand and style.
Almost as stylish as Palps' dark flowing robes, am I right?
He does cut an electrifying figure.
They have built-in tools like video blocks and extensions for lots of platforms.
So our website can be a hub to link to all of our other stuff. YouTube, Patreon, upcoming events, our merch and popcorn stores, and so much more.
Squarespace has made you powerful. Now, strike me down with all of your marketing.
And your journey towards an independent business ownership will be complete.
All of Squarespace's resources, like transfer domains, pre-built layouts, customizable templates, and the Squarespace Help Center, make it quick and simple to build a website.
So whether you need to build a website for your Sith recruitment seminar,
Or your self-empowerment course, Unlimited Power!
or to sell your own custom-built red kyber crystal lightsabers,
Squarespace has a template that is right for you, and you won't have to spend months building a website and or Death Star.
hefty bill, lots of electricity.
We used to build websites back home, and those weren't much bigger than 2 meters.
Check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/cinematherapy and use code cinematherapy to get 10% off your first website or domain.
Do it.
They've finally given you an assignment. Your patience has paid off.
Your guidance more than my patience.
You don't need guidance, Anakin. In time, you will learn to trust your feelings. Then you will be invincible.
Flattery, right here.
I have said it many times. You are the most gifted Jedi I have ever met.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
I see you becoming the greatest of all Jedi, Anakin. Even more powerful than Master Yoda.
I like how they're walking in that scene because it's very original trilogy Vader and the Emperor. Like the framing of it and doing this little mincing thing that he does, you know? Like he's very C. Montgomery Burns, isn't he?
Excellent.
Excellent.
So manipulators, groomers, they prey on people who don't get acceptance elsewhere,
Right.
and they do it through flattery. Palpatine knows that the Jedi don't trust Anakin because they've seen darkness in him, because if the prophecy is true, then he's going to basically take over the Jedi Order, and because he's so powerful, and because Anakin's kind of an arrogant little prick at this point.
That must be frustrating.
It's worse.
Palpatine knows that Anakin doesn't feel accepted, and so he's already starting to very subtly drive a wedge through flattery, and it feels good to Anakin. Right? I've got somebody who really sees me and values me. And I'm not saying if people see you and value you that they're grooming you. I'm just saying keep your eyes open.
If someone is complimenting you and seeing you, that's great. If someone is comparing you to others and saying, you're going to be the greatest of all the Jedi, like,
Yeah.
take a look at that and just be like, am I?
This next scene, I believe, doesn't have Palpatine in it, but his fingerprints are all over it.
I don't think the system works.
How would you have it work?
Stupidly.
We need a system where the politicians sit down and discuss the problem. Agree what's in the best interest of all the people, and then do it.
That's exactly what we do. The trouble is that people don't always agree.
Well, then they should be made to.
By whom? Who's gonna make them?
I don't know. Someone.
You?
Of course not me.
But someone.
Someone wise.
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
Well, if it works.
This is one of the few scenes they have together that really works for me.
It actually works, yeah.
And the reason I like it is because you see, even though Anakin's talking, you're like, this is the influence of Palpatine.
Yep.
This is Anakin hanging out and getting ideas from Palpatine. And the notion that someone wise should take over and make people agree and make people get along speaks to a manipulator who sees themselves as the smartest person in the room and legitimately the best person to bring order to chaos. And that's the thing about manipulators, generally narcissists. It's not just a lust for power for Palpatine. It's, I'm the best person for the job.
I am the Senate.
And on a smaller scale in our lives, you have someone who says, you don't know what you want, I do.
Right.
You don't know what you need, I do. You're not making good decisions, let me make the decisions for you.
Yep.
And they do it with such flattery and such pretend warmth, or even real warmth, but it just comes from a really unhealthy, controlling place, that we buy into it and we start to give more and more power. And I like this about the prequels. He's seizing power on a galactic scale, but also just
On
in
a
the heart-
personal scale.
Yeah, on a very personal scale.
Yeah.
And that's something to watch out for.
It is with great reluctance
No, it's
I
not.
have
Yeah.
agreed to this calling. I love democracy.
No, you don't.
I love the Republic.
Kinda.
The power you give me, I will lay down when this crisis has abated.
No, you won't. Okay, so I love that they make it
And as
Jar Jar's
my
fault.
first act with this new
Yes.
authority, I will create a grand army of the Republic to counter the increasing threats of the Separatists.
It is done then.
my kids understand geopolitics because of the
this.
prequels, because of this, because we've
Yeah.
talked about how dictators take power through fear.
Yep.
How they get people to give up freedom in exchange for security, And it's all laid out really well, really smart. And I just think it's one of the things in the prequels that works the best.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ouch time.
Good, Anakin, good. Kill him. Kill him now.
What? You can't kill me. I'm Dracula.
Shouldn't.
Do it.
Can't kill me. I'm Dracula. That's cold.
Do it.
The memes from the prequels.
It's so memeable.
It's a treasure trove.
You did well, Anakin. He was too dangerous to be kept alive.
Yes, but he was an unarmed prisoner. I shouldn't have done that. It's not the Jedi way.
It is only natural. He cut off your arm, and you wanted revenge.
Twisting it.
First time, Anakin. Remember what you told me about your mother and the Sand people?
This is one scene where it kind of falls down for me.
Okay.
Because you have to assume that this powerful Jedi who's had Jedi education and training and a fair amount of experience at this point fighting in the Clone Wars is dumb enough to go, you told me to kill him.
Yeah, like 30
now
seconds
you're
ago.
telling me that it's my fault?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it requires a breathtaking amount of stupidity.
What did you say?
Well, and that's why I love especially the later seasons of Clone Wars, because it's the same universe, but it's delivered with a lot more nuance and believability.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. I also, look,
look, Ian McDermott is great. The idea of the scene is really, really good.
Yeah. Palpatine manipulates Anakin into betraying his values and then convinces Anakin that the whole operation was his idea.
Hold on. This whole operation was your idea.
And blames him and calls back secrets that Anakin has told him in confidence and uses them against him.
Yep.
Right? What he's doing right now is gaslighting. You can't trust anyone but me. The way you think and do things is wrong. I didn't tell you to kill him. You did that on your own.
Yeah.
Right? And I agree it's not subtle.
Right.
But in concept, it's really sound. And this is what they do.
Yoda mint chocolate! Buy our popcorn, you will.
I know they don't trust you.
Or the Senate, or the Republic, or democracy, for that matter.
I have to admit, my trust in them has been shaken.
Why?
Because they accused Ahsoka of murder.
They asked you to do something that made you feel dishonest, didn't they?
Facts not in evidence, John.
They asked you to spy on me, didn't they?
I don't,
I actually really like Hayden Christensen's performance in this.
I don't know what to say.
In the opera scene?
The whole opera scene, but yeah, right there is great.
All who gain power are afraid to lose it, even the Jedi.
Projecting.
Power for good.
Good is a point of view, Anakin. The Sith and the Jedi are similar in almost every way, including their quest for greater power.
The Sith rely on their passion for their strength. They think inwards, only about themselves.
And the Jedi don't.
Here's what makes Palpatine such a skilled manipulator. There is truth in what he says.
Yep.
The issue is he mixes truth with lies, and he steers people towards his own ends.
Yes.
The Jedi Order, what Anakin is talking about, is what their values are.
This is what they strive to achieve.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Palpatine's talking about what they are. I see this a lot like is true to a point, but what Anakin's not mature enough or mindful enough or experienced enough to be aware of is that he's being steered.
Right.
And that Palpatine is doing it deliberately to drive a wedge between Anakin and the people he cares about and who care about him. At least a few of them do. Not Mace. Mace, come on.
You must go, Master.
No. Do better, man.
Do better, Mace.
Let me help you to know the subtleties of the Force.
How do you know the ways of the Force?
So here's where Palpatine finally reveals his hand of what he's about.
Taught me everything about the Force, even the nature of the dark side.
I I know it's cheesy, but the way he does like evil voice.
It's so good. He just drops into it.
If one is to understand the great mystery, one must study all its aspects, not just the dogmatic, narrow view of the Jedi.
Now he's more openly... Before he was subtly waging war on the Jedi in Anakin's mind, now he's just openly saying...
a larger view of the Force.
Be careful of the Jedi, Anakin.
Only through me can you achieve a power greater than any Jedi.
Speaking of hemi-dialogue, but making a sandwich of it and just eating it and relishing it.
Be able to save your wife from certain death.
Oof. That little grin. Oh, I love Ian McDermott's portrayal here.
Ewan McGregor does something similar where he's like, this is the dialogue. I know. Okay, I'm gonna polish the turd and make it shine.
Don't continue to be a pawn of the Jedi Council. Ever since I've known you, you've been searching for a life greater than that of an ordinary Jedi. A life of significance, of conscience. Are you going to kill me?
I would certainly like to.
I know you would. I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.
Also, I kind of crap on George Lucas as a director. Great producer, great storyteller.
I'm going to turn you over to the Jedi Council.
His direction in this scene, the blocking of how the characters are moving around, it does a lot to inform what's going on. It's actually really, really solid.
Discover the truth of all this.
You have great wisdom, Anakin.
Flattery continues.
Power of the dark side. Power to save Padme.
Okay. So a manipulator will convince you that what they want is what you want. And they will do it by tying what they want to your values and the things that you desire. Save your wife, right? A life of significance, a life of conscience. These are all the good things that Anakin has inside of him. And Palpatine is saying, well, you know, the path to that is the dark side, right? And what he's doing is getting Anakin to betray his values by subtly supplanting his old values, like mixing in new ones and like gently pushing the old ones out.
It's not fair.
And when you see it done like this, hopefully if someone's doing this to you or has done this to you, you can be like, oh, this is familiar. I mean, they may have never said, good. Because that's a bit of a dead giveaway in real life.
Yeah, a little bit. If someone does that to you,
the Force is strong with you.
Question their motives.
Yeah. But it's so delicious to watch him do it.
So much fun. Also, I just realized there is a very different alternate Star Wars universe where SHEEV Palpatine goes to work at a landspeeder dealership and just wins sales awards right and left. He's going on trips to the luxurious underwater city of the Gungans. You know, he's just happy as a clam, and people are getting a good deal on land speeders.
It's like if he's not pure evil, he's just 80% evil, like most used car salesmen.
Like the sawdust quiets the gears and lets the engine run as sweet as a nut for a couple of miles.
Daddy, that's cheating.
Of course it's cheating.
Why aren't you spending your days writing Star Wars fanfic is what I want to know. You've got a knack.
I apparently do.
It's like you've been hurt enough by Star Wars.
If you or a loved one was
hurt enough by Star Wars,
you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Why do you think I have been hurt by Star Wars?
But you love Star Wars
because I
enough
want good Star Wars stories like SHEEV Palpatine selling land speeders, Die Hard in the Jedi Temple during Order 66.
Yippee-ki-yay, midi-chlorians! So here's where the therapy part of this villain therapy episode is going to kick in.
Oh boy.
I'm going to give it in two parts. First is what to do if you yourself are in the tractor beam of a manipulator.
Okay.
The second is the therapy that I would give Palpatine
Is there
himself.
actual therapy we can give to SHEEV?
So we're going to jump ahead to Return of the Jedi and take a look at what Luke does.
The Alliance will die, as will your friends. Good. I can feel your anger. I am defenseless. Take your weapon. Strike.
strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
It's hard to give commentary because he's
so much fun to watch.
He arrived in Return of the Jedi with a full grasp of the character.
Yep.
And obviously a lot of that is writing and direction as well, but like, man, he just came out of the gate.
He knew exactly what to do.
So he's doing a similar thing with Luke as he was doing with Anakin, but Luke is in a much better position to resist him than Anakin was, because Luke has surrounded himself with genuine good friends who care about him, who care about his welfare, who see his worth. So, because Palpatine doesn't try and use the same manipulations on Luke with the flattery and what have you, Luke's not going to yield to flattery because he already feels loved. So Palpatine doesn't have that wedge to drive. So surrounding yourself with good people who see you, who honor you, who either share your values or, just as important,
appreciate your values.
Yeah, appreciate and honor, like, these are your values. Like, they don't have to believe in everything you believe in or stand for everything you stand for, as long as they respect what you do, right? And the Jedi, conversely, tried to keep Anakin from attachment. This is something that we talked about in our Anakin episode, is that Luke had it right. That healthy attachments help us to be happy, help us to be content. Attachment shouldn't be forbidden. It doesn't lead to the dark side. Attachment is one of the paths to light. And so that's one of the reasons Luke is in such a better position. Of course, as with many things with the Jedi Council, they're not 100% wrong, but how they apply what they're right about is what gets them into trouble.
A lot to be desired.
Yeah, because attachment can lead to anger and jealousy and all these things. Their strategy was, well, we should just avoid attachment entirely. Right? And that's... Palpatine and Vader do threaten Luke's attachments. He goes ballistic, but he does something absolutely crucial here.
Never. I'll never turn to the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Palps is pissed.
So be it, Jedi.
So something in that scene that's really fun is he says, I'm a Jedi like my father before me. And then there's a nice long pause.
Yeah.
We cut to Palpatine, we cut back to Luke.
Yeah.
And then back to Palpatine, and then his line, so be it, Jedi.
Why does that land differently? Because they could have just gone straight to so be it, Jedi.
John Williams. Straight up. If you are a filmmaker and you have John Williams on your side, you can do, and Spielberg does this all the time, where he'll take a nice long shot of something.
Yeah.
And just go, I'm going to fill this with emotion. There's like tension strings all through that, right? Because we're like, what is this going to lead to? What is it going to do?
What's going to happen next?
And you get to see Palpatine. It's like, okay, something bad is going to happen. I wonder what it is.
We have a moment to savor Luke's moral victory.
Yes.
And then also to dread
what is coming.
Yeah.
What is the payment for that?
Really cool. So this is something I love about Luke in Return of the Jedi. And this is pertinent to if you're in the tractor beam of a manipulator.
Okay.
Luke has very clear who he is and what he stands for.
Yeah.
What is right and what is wrong. Because Palpatine tries to get Luke to question what is right and what is wrong.
Yep.
Or what you believe is right isn't serving you, right? Do this instead. And he's always like shining lights. Look over here, Luke. Think about this, Luke. What about this? And Luke keeps coming back to his center.
Yes.
And that's why, even in his weakest moment, he cuts off Vader's hand. He's looming over him and he's about to strike. And it's Palpatine. Honestly, Palpatine, had he hung back, Luke might have done the job.
Right.
But Palpatine can't resist laughing and being like, good.
I must celebrate my tiny...
And Luke hears it and he's like, oh yeah.
Oh, I'm playing into his hand.
Yep, and that gives Luke the moment to reconsider. So it comes down to coming back to when they're trying to distract you here, here, and here, you just stay with your center of who you are and what you're about. Let's talk about the therapy that I would give Palpatine. As much as his return in Rise of Skywalker feels and is just tacked on there, it doesn't bother me that they made a Palpatine clone. I actually think that's kind of a cool idea.
No, that's cool. Just set it up earlier.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, have the cojones to, in Last Jedi, you did the anti-Vader arc, which is the original plan.
Yeah.
And have Kylo Ren be a full-on bad guy who doesn't get redeemed.
Yeah, pick a lane. Either Palpatine is going to come back and set that up from Force Awakens,
yeah,
or he's not going to come back, and Kylo Ren is going to be the big bad.
Yeah.
By the end. Pick a lane and stick in it.
One or the other.
Yeah.
That said, Rise of Skywalker is where I would attempt therapy with Palpatine.
What?
Because people who are narcissistic, manipulative, controlling, and they assume they're the smartest person in the room, that their plan is the right one, and that they're the best person to control things, they don't get shaken loose from that until they hit rock bottom. And it's hard to hit more rock bottom than Vader tossing you down.
Getting thrown down a power shaft.
Yeah. So he gets cloned and his consciousness is transferred to that body. That's my time as a therapist to say, hey, SHEEV, let's talk about this. Because you're just going to do the same damn thing as before. Amass a giant armada, try and take control. You're still the best person to control things, but are you really? Should you really be running the show? Because that didn't go so well for you last time. Right?
I hear there's an opening at a car dealership. Just saying, give something else a shot. There's nothing wrong with a late life career change.
Oh, no.
I became a YouTuber. It's fine.
I would use this as an opportunity to challenge his assumptions, to point to the evidence that his assumptions are incorrect, and to play to his heartstrings that he's got a granddaughter now for some reason. This is a good opportunity to help her learn from your mistakes and be a better person. That's my inroad there. So
Yep.
Let me say, like, all joking aside, Alan knows this. I give Star Wars a pass for almost anything, and that includes Rise of Skywalker. It is dumber than the Ewoks at the ACTs, but you know what? I still enjoy it because I love the universe.
Sure.
But come on.
Yeah.
That's when I buried 10,000 Star Destroyers under the ice. Who built them? Better yet, who will fly them? Ice zombies? That's when we started mass producing ice zombies.
So until next time.
Good. I can feel your anger.
Do it. And
watch movies. Movies are good. Some of the Star Wars ones are.
Those are my babies. Don't you talk about my babies accurately like that?
Some of them are good and some of them aren't.
Some of them are bad babies. They're still my babies.
Bad babies.
I still love them. We want to thank our patrons for supporting our channel and keeping us going. Folks like
Jessica White, Alexander Lee, Red Thyme, like the spice, Daphne Pitala Margelli, and Christine Metzger.
Hey, what time does Tashi Station close? I need to pick up some power converters.